Say today we'll discuss about the revised simplex method. So why the name is revised? Actually, it is the simplex method. Generally, when we solve a system of linear equation in simplex method, we use the inverse of a matrix. Okay, we compute the inverse of the matrix and we solve the system. Okay, so in every iteration we are solving a system. If in simplex table we are using, let us say, 3 iteration, initially 1, then another 2. So 3 times you are computing the inverse. Okay, 3 times you are computing the inverse of the matrix. So here, so actually when you compute a matrix 3 times, actually we are spending a good amount of time for the computation. But here what we do, so in the simplex method, at a time only one column we are changing for a basis matrix, then we are computing the inverse. After obtaining the inverse, the same inverse to be used in the next inverse. Okay, repeatedly. So how could you use the same inverse repeatedly? We'll discuss about that. So there is a method called product form of inverse. Product form of inverse of a basis matrix. Actually, why basis matrix? In a problem, if you are saying more variables, less number of constants, and we are making it say a system of equation, then we are solving. In the system of equation, there are basic variable and non-basic variable. All the non-basic variables are 0 and basic variables we set non-zero and we solve. So as a result, we have a system, number of equation and number of variables are same. We will be able to compute the inverse. If there is no inverse, then we cannot solve the problem and we will say that the problem is infeasible. Okay. So here we'll discuss about how could you compute the inverse of the matrix. The rule is like this. Here what we do, so we wish to compute the inverse of a basis matrix. Okay, basis matrix. So in the basis matrix, BC, because the basis matrix, only one column is differing. So from B and BC, only there is a difference of only one column. Generally, so we know the inverse of the original basis matrix. That is nothing but an identity matrix. The identity matrix inverse is same. So now that identity matrix to be used to compute the next inverse. The product form of inverse allow us to determine this new inverse in an efficient manner. We want to compute the inverse of the basis matrix with one column. There is a change in one column, that is BC inverse. So when you compute BC inverse, what is our assumption? First assumption is like this. So first let us consider the following definition. Generally, B is the original basis matrix, let us say of size m by m. Initially it is an identity matrix. BC is the new basis matrix which is identical to B except for only one column there is a change. Let us say the rth column is differ. So the rth column, say we have put a new column that is called C vector, a column vector, the rth column, and if you compare B and BC, only you will find the rth column. Say there is a difference. The only column different from the basis matrix B. Okay. So before that, I will just cite a small example here. What we do? See, this example will give some idea. Now consider two different matrices, B and BC. Okay. So our assumption both are non-singular. Then we can compute the inverse. Both are non-singular and differ by only one column. The B matrix, the elements, first column 1 0 0, second column 0 1 0, third column 0 0 1. That is an identity matrix. And now if you compare the BC and with B, so the middle column same, last column same, only first column there is a difference 1 0 0. Instead of 1 0 0 we are replacing 2 2 4. If you replace this column, what will happen to this inverse? B and B inverse are same because it is identity matrix. And if you are changing only one column, what will happen to the inverse? So actually, if you compute BC inverse will be equal to half minus 1 minus 2, then middle column 0 1 0, last column 0 0 1. See, simply you can check B into BC inverse. If you multiply, then you will have an identity matrix. This is easiest way to check. But what is the systematic procedure? How to proceed? We will proceed in this manner. So what we will do? We will compute a column vector E in this manner. So if you compare B and BC, as you know, 2 2 4 and 1 0 0. 1 0 0, the original matrix it was 1 0 0. Now the 1 0 0 I am removing, I am replacing with 2 2 4. What will happen to the inverse? So actually, as you know, the first column is different. There is a difference in first column. The column elements are 2 2 4. 2 2 4. So once it is given 2 to 4, how do proceed? We proceed in this manner. So from the BC, we will compute E. The E is a vector, is a column vector in this manner. So E equal to B inverse into column C1. B inverse. B inverse is nothing but an identity matrix presently. Okay. So this B and B inverse are same. So we are multiplying 2 to 4. If you multiply with this identity matrix 2 to 4, then ultimately the column is 2 to 4. That is our, so E is a column vector. Okay, 2 to 4. Now from E we will compute eta. From E we will compute eta. Say how to compute eta? So already there is a formula. So I am going to that one. So the formula is like this. Once E is given, E is a column vector. It is written in this form. The elements are, and the size of the matrix is M by M. The elements, the column vector is E. That elements I am naming as E1, E2 up to EM. It is a column vector, so I am taking row transpose. It is a column vector. E is a column vector. Now, how to find eta? Eta equal to, that is minus, see, rth column, I am telling the rth column there is a different. Rth column is different. So observe these elements. So this is equal to minus E1 divided by ER, minus ER minus 1 divided by ER, and so on. Finally, for the rth column, the rth element will be 1 over ER, and this ER is non-zero, just like a pivot element in the simplex table. Then next element minus ER plus 1 by ER and so on. Finally, minus EM by ER is a column vector. So we are writing this transpose, and this ER is not equal to 0, eta. Once eta is obtained, say what we will do? So we will compute BC inverse equal to ER into B inverse. Which B inverse? because B presently is identity matrix, is inverse is also identity. So now BC inverse equal to ER into B inverse. What is B in what is ER? ER is nothing but a identity matrix with Rth column. This Rth column must be replaced by eta. The Rth column must be replaced by eta, that is ER. So once we got the ER, so BC inverse equal to ER into B inverse. Okay. How many students are there?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when we are writing small e1, small e2, so this is the row. When we are writing small ei, this is the ith row, right, of B.
No. Actually, I am facing difficulty writing a column because due to space, I am saving space. I am writing a row transpose is nothing but a column. Okay. See the example. Okay. So I will repeat. This is our B. This is our B. And if you compare B with BC, which column is different? First column is different. Okay. So first column is different. First column means, so this is elements are E1, E2, E3. The first column element is, I am saying, so this is actually, you will get E. So E already have defined how to compute E. E equal to, that is B inverse into C1, that is nothing but our E. Okay. That is our E. From E, we'll find eta. So E equal to B inverse into C1. So this B inverse is nothing but identity matrix. Then 2, 2, 4 multiply. Then ultimately you are getting 2, 2, 4. Same. There is no change. How do you write eta? Eta will be, see, the first element, second element, third element. Just look at the simplex table. So we have a pivot element P. If it is P, in that position, it will be reciprocal, 1 by P. Other elements will be the element divided by the pivot element with a minus sign. Okay.
So this eta will have a minus half there, right? The first element.
No. First element, the first element has to be only reciprocal. Other element you will divide and with a minus sign. Just like simplex.
Okay, it's just 1 by ER. Okay.
Okay. That is 1 by P. This is 1 by P. We are writing the element divided by P with a minus sign. So 2 by 2 with a minus sign, that is minus 1. 4 divided by 2 with a minus sign is minus 2. Eta. Eta you have got. Then once you have got eta, what is E1? You will write a identity matrix. First column you replace with eta. So E1 will be equal to half minus 1 minus 2 and 0 1 0 0 0 1 E1. Okay. Then what is BC inverse? BC inverse equal to E1 into B inverse, whatever inverse earlier. So since it is a identity matrix, so that is there is no change. It is becoming 1 by 2 minus 1 2 0 1 0 0 0 1. Okay, because right hand side B inverse is a identity matrix. So for first case, it is obvious our BC inverse will be simply E1. B inverse multiply, same. So BC inverse will be E1. Similarly, if I am changing second column, it will be BC inverse will be E2. If I am changing third column, this will be BC inverse equal to simply our E3. So see here, next example. It is very simple and you have to remember few steps. Example 2. Now, B and BC, compare. Which column is different? B and BC. Second column is different. Second column is different means in that column, second element make it reciprocal, which is non-zero. So 2 becoming 1 by 2. Other elements you divide by 2 with a minus sign. 2 by 2 with a minus sign, so minus 1. And 4 by 2 with a minus sign is minus 2. Okay. So this is okay. So BC inverse. Okay. This. So how do you compute? So we got C2. C2 is the middle column. You see, this is the difference. 2 to 4. Now, what we'll do? Our E equal to B inverse into C2. As a result, you will get 2 to 4. 2 to 4, right? 2 to 4. Now, with respect to this 2 to 4, since it is second column, our eta will be. So actually, you can say it is second column. So with respect to, we have eta 2, you can say. So it is -1, half, -2. So with respect to this eta,
Sir, how is
our
that half coming? Can you explain, sir? How is that half coming? I'm not getting it.
let us say these elements equal to A, B, C. A, B, C are non-zero. What will happen?
Yes, sir.
What will happen? So A, B,
B is
C.
pivot element, no, sir?
Yes.
Minus
B.
means 2 minus 2 by 2. Then C that -2 came by 4 by 2 and minus sign. So how that half came?
2 is reciprocal, no? If it is P, it is 1 by P. Simplex table you have forgotten.
Achha, direct reciprocal. Yes, sir, got it.
Okay, eta.
Yes, we are getting.
So now eta we have got. Now E2. Okay, E2 is what? Now middle column you change. It is a identity matrix. Only middle column you change. This is our E2. So what is our BC inverse? BC inverse equal to E2 into identity matrix. Same as E2, right? Now I'm coming to third column. Third column. If there is change in third column, what will happen? See, for your benefit, I have taken 3 examples. First column, second column, third column. Only at a time. See why it is so. See, whenever you are doing simplex, using simplex method, okay, one is the entering variable. Okay, entering a variable means entering vector. One new vector will come. Departing variable, say from the basis matrix, one variable is going. Okay, the variable which is going, so we will see which position it was. In the same position, we replace that column and proceed. So initially, the inverse basis matrix is a identity matrix, its inverse is identity. Then we will proceed. So now in first step, you got identity matrix. Second stage, one column there is a difference. Then you got the inverse. Third stage, then there will be 2 columns. Fourth, like that. Continue. Okay. So B, BC. So if you compare, what is here? B, BC and the B, BC and the answer is BC inverse is this. And how we have got BC inverse? So what is C3? C3 is the last column, 2 to 4. C3. Now we compute say E vector. E vector. See, this is different. For first column, E is different. For second column, E is different. For third column, E is different because we are changing the column. B inverse into C3. B inverse is identity matrix. Now C3, 2 to 4. As a result, ultimately 2 to 4. Now what is eta? Because it is with respect to third column. So third column, so third element is pivoting. So 4 becoming 1 by 4 and you divide with the minus sign. 2 by 4 with a minus sign, minus half. 2 by 4 by the minus sign, minus half. This we got E3. Okay, E3 and E3, our first column same, second column same, and third column we replace with eta. So that is actually, this is becoming the inverse of BC. And if you multiply the identity matrix same, okay, multiply. So there is no difference. Okay, but first stage there is no difference, but second stage there will be difference. So now we'll discuss how we'll proceed. Okay, how we'll proceed for the computation. So what is the simplex rule? So the summary is like this. See, let B be the basis matrix. B be a basis matrix. And what is the size? Size is M by M. M number of row, M number of column. It is square matrix because it is, of course, non-singular. We are computing the inverse of a non-singular matrix. So initially, B and B inverse are same. It is an identity matrix of order M. If it is m equal 2, then it is 2 by 2 identity matrix. If it is 3, 3 by 3. If it is 4, 4 by 4, and so on. Okay. Now, see, in some simplex, some linear programming problem, one iteration is enough. For some, 2 iteration is enough. For some, 3 iteration is enough. Depends on of size. Okay. So depends on the data. So here we are not computing all the, we are not changing all the column. Only we are changing if there is one column difference, then how proceed? We proceed in this manner. Let us say, if you are interested to change all the columns, first column, second column, third column, so the matrix name we can give in this manner. B, B1, B is the initially what? B is the identity matrix, then B1, then B2, then B3, and so on, say up to Bm. Altogether, how many basis matrices are there? There are altogether, excluding B1, B2, Bm. Say one more, B is there, no? B is the identity matrix initially. Now compare B with B1. One column is different. Now compare B1 with B2. Okay. So there, let us say in this case they are differing first by first column. And next case they are differing B and B2. If you compare, they are differing by second column. And B2 and B3 they are differing by third column, and so on. Let us say. Then what will happen? So finally Bm-1 and Bm, they are differing by the last column. So according to the rule, we have computed like this. So I have written earlier BC inverse equal to some E matrix, let us say E1 into B inverse. E1 into B inverse. What is B inverse? It is identity matrix. Since the identity matrix, it will not give any result. Finally, we will have E1. B1 inverse equal to E1. Please remember, B1 inverse equal to E1. Then we compute B2 inverse. When we compute B2 inverse, we will obtain E2. I have defined. So there we have got E1, E2, E3. So you are getting E2. And what is B1 inverse? B1 inverse recently you computed, that is U1. So ultimately B2 inverse equal to E2 into E1. Okay. This product of 2. If you are changing 2 column. If you are changing 3 column, B3 inverse equal to E3 into B2 inverse. What is B2 inverse? B2 inverse equal to E2 into E1. So ultimately B2 inverse equal to E3 into E2 into E1. Similarly, B4 inverse equal to E4 into E3 into E2 into E1. Okay. One more, that is B we are leaving because it is identity matrix in the right. Okay. Now similarly, Bm inverse equal to Em into Bm-1 inverse. So ultimately we have, so Em, Em-1 and so on, say finally E1. Okay. So now what we are saying, what is ER? R varies from 1 to M. Okay. If it is E1, then we are selecting, there is only first column, there is different. If it is G2, second column, and so on. Okay. So in this manner. So if there are M number of columns, if you are changing to compute the inverse, so we'll write in this manner EM, then Em-1 and so on, say up to E1. What is E1? Because it is the identity matrix, only the first column is different. So E2, it is also identity matrix, where second column is different, and so on. Okay. So if you multiply, see, if it is multiply, you will compute the inverse. Now, the question is how this multiplication will be efficient. See, in this case, if you solve a problem, we are multiplying a matrix with a vector, or we are multiplying a matrix with a matrix. These two things you are doing. Okay. So to compute the inverse. Okay. So it is very simple and anybody can compute. And if you are writing code also, it will be very easier. You can use also MATLAB or Mathematica, whatever you like, but it will be simpler. I will explain how to solve problem. Okay. Now, see this example 4. Okay, see this example 4. It is very interesting. Interesting in the sense. So, if you compare B and B inverse are the identity matrix. Now compare B with B1. What is B and B1? Which column is different? The first column. Okay, 2, 2, 0, 2, 0, 0, first column. Now compare B1 and B2. So B1 and B2, which column is different? Last column, same. First column, same.
Second column.
Second column is different. Now compare B2 and B3. Which column is different?
Third column.
Third column. Okay. So now let us say we are interested to find the inverse of B3. What will happen? Since there are 3 different columns we are changing, so our result will be E3 into E2 into E1. Please remember, B3 inverse will be E3 into E2 into E1. Okay, this. So 3 different matrices you have to multiply. So that is the reason we are saying product form of inverse of a matrix. See, generally we compute. So matrix inversion by Gauss-Jordan method. Another is that adjoint of A by determinant A, that method, second method. So and this is another method is there called partitioning method. Several methods are there. Okay, there are several numerical methods also, but this it is a different one. This is product form of inverse. It is only used in the revised simplex method. Okay, this. Now we'll discuss how we have computed. Now, so if you compare B and B1, the first column is different. Elements are G2, 0, 0. This element you multiply with the matrix. Okay, we multiply B inverse into C1, identity matrix into C1. So ultimately it is 2, 0, 0. With respect to 2, 0, 0, what is your eta? What is your eta? Eta will be, say, since it is in first column, this will be 2 becoming half, then 0, then 0. Right? This is your eta. Now, so we have an E1 matrix. So it is very similar to identity matrix. This first column we replace with eta. The elements are half, 0, 0, and other 2 elements, other 2 columns. That is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Right? So E1 you have got. And what is this inverse? So E1 into the inverse what you have got. That is the identity matrix. So in E1 there is no change. Okay. So B inverse, B1 inverse is nothing but E1. Right? Is all right? So we'll write B inverse equal to E1 into B inverse. B1 inverse equal to E1 into B inverse. Ultimately it is coming as B1 inverse equal to E1. Right? Any confusion? How many students are there? Hello?
Sir, can you again tell how we calculated that neta? Because here the pivot element is 0, no, sir?
Are you mad?
So,
First column. First column, there are 3 elements. First element is, so for the first column, the first element we are pivoting. For second column, second element we are pivoting. For third column, third element we are pivoting. And you see that in simplex, the pivot element cannot be 0. It has to be positive. In the primal simplex, it will be positive. When we will discuss about the dual simplex, it may be negative. Okay, but it will never 0. Right? All right. So B1 inverse is this. Now, say we are coming to second column. What is second column? Second column, if you observe, again I am going top. Second column, please remember. So first column 2, 0, 0. Second column is 4, 2, 6. Third column is 0, 0, 5. Okay. Not necessarily all will be say non-zero. Some can be 0 also. But if you compute, this is a non-singular matrix, invertible. Okay. So first column 2 0 0, second column 4 2 6, third column 0 0 5. Please remember. Now, what is your second column? 4 2 6. This column must be multiplied, okay, with whom? From the left side, the inverse matrix, whatever we have got. What is the inverse matrix? B1 inverse. B1 inverse is E1. Okay, B1 inverse equal to E1. So now we multiply E1 with C2. Multiply. So we are multiplying. So that is our E1. E1 inverse equal to this. Half 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 2. That is our E1 inverse. Okay. We are saying B inverse into C2. E1, okay. B1 inverse equal to E1. So E1 equal to, this is the inverse. Okay. So we can write here. So this multiply with 4 2 6. If you multiply, again it is coming as 2 2 6, not 4 2 6. Okay. See here. First row, first column, second row, first column, and this. First row, first column. So this is coming as 4 by 2, 2. Second is 2. Third is 6. Okay. 2 to 6. With respect to 2 to 6, what is our eta? We are pivoting at the middle element. 2 becoming half. Okay. First element becoming 2 divided by 2 with a minus sign, that is minus 1. Then third element 6 by 2 with a minus sign, it is minus 3 eta. So what is eta? Eta equal to minus 1 half minus 3. So we find E2. What is E2? This is same as an identity matrix. The middle column must be replaced with eta. So 1 0 0, last is 0 0 1, and middle column minus 1 half minus 3. Eta you replace E2. This E2 is not the inverse of B2. We have to multiply with that what the inverse you have got. So earlier inverse, that is E1. So we will write in this manner. B2 inverse equal to, that is our E2 into E1. B2 inverse equal to E2 into B1 inverse, that is E2 into E1. Okay. So B2 second. So when you change two columns, its inverse equal to E2 into E1. This into this multiply. So ultimately this is the outcome. B2 inverse. Now we want to find B3 inverse. Okay. How to find? So this is our B2 inverse. So we have C3 0 0 5. With that inverse, we multiply 0 0 5. So if you multiply, what will happen? So our E vector B2 inverse into C3. This is a B2 inverse. C3 equal to 0 0 5. So as a result, this is also coming same as 0 0 5. Now with respect to this, what is our eta? Eta equal to 0 0 1 by 5 because third element. Okay. So 0 0 1 by 5. Now what is our E3? E3 equal to first column 1 0 0, second column 0 1 0, third column 0 0 1 by 5. E3 you have got. Now what is B3 inverse? B3 inverse equal to E3 and whatever inverse you have got, that is E3 into E2 into E1. Okay. So as a result, we have here B3 inverse equal to, okay, that is, this is our E3. Then this product equal to nothing but our inverse. So we can have this one is our B2 inverse multiply. So as a result, we have this element. Okay. So this is nothing but half 0 0 minus 1 half minus 3 by 5 0 0 1 by 5. So B new inverse initially whatever now it is new is same as we write here B3 inverse, and this is same as you can write E3, E2 and E1. Already E1 you got in first step, E2 you got in second step, E3 you got in third step. Now I have changed in a particular order. First column, then second column, then third column. Is there any need that somebody will fix the order? No. If you are changing arbitrarily, how many such product you can find? Tell me. First stage, you can change 3 factorial, that is 6. So first time you can change either first column or second column or third column. 3 cases. Let us say after fixing that another 2. So 2 cases. Then after fixing that another 1. So 3 into 2 into 1. So that is 3 cases. If instead of 3, if it is our order is equal to m, let us say it is 10. Size of the matrix is 10. So how many product you will find to complete the inverse? Maximum 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 and so on. Say that is 10 factorial. Okay. So this many way. So why? Because see, but as you know, in the simplex we are following a particular order. Why particular order? Our ultimate aim is we are maximizing a objective function which is fulfilling some equation in a particular order, not arbitrarily. If somebody is doing arbitrarily, this many, but if you are doing systematically, so no need of going even 110 factorial. Maybe in 10 cases you can complete the solution. Okay, maximum. Okay, so it depends on the data. Now we'll discuss about the revised simplex method. What is the theory behind the revised simplex method? It's very crucial. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the product form of inverse, can it ever so happen that if we are changing the rth column, then the rth entry, that small er, that itself is 0, because then the eta matrix will not be defined.
In the simplex method, have you seen a key element is 0?
Okay, so we are saying that in simplex this wouldn't fail, but we cannot extend this to finding the inverse of any other.
Name itself revised simplex method. The purpose is to fulfill our requirement. Okay, right? Fulfill the requirement. So if there is a problem where the matrix is all the diagonal elements are non-zero, then fine, no problem. Okay, that depends on. Okay, so no problem.
Yes.
So see, you are jumping before the flood has not come. You are jumping. So you should not jump. I'm telling. So have patience. And those are really interested to solve, you can write code. See, and this time I am not going to write the entire table computation. One table I'll write, and that information will use. Okay, this. Okay. So see, there are some steps. What is the step? Original simplex method, calculate and store all the numbers in the simplex table. Many are not needed. Only one table is enough. Okay. Revised simplex method, more efficient for computing. It is used in all the commercial packages for linear programming, something like IBM, MPSX, CDC, Apex, Third, etc. Okay. So what is the problem? See, for discussion sake, I am considering only linear programming for maximization type. You can solve also minimization type. You can solve with the artificial variable. You can solve with the slack variable, surplus variable, any variable. Okay. So, but what we are doing, so how to implement, how to proceed, we are discussing about that. So I am considering a maximization type problem and only slack variables are there. If it is surplus artificial also, you can solve it, but there is a different case. But here we are considering a separate case for this. What is the problem? Maximizing z is an objective function, C transpose into X is a linear function, subject to, what is this? X less than equal to B, B is non-negative vector, okay, X is non-negative, okay, this, okay. After inclusion of slack variable, no surplus, okay, B is non-negative. So we can have a system of linear equation, right? So like this, initially constants become and they become standard form. So A plus, that is I identity matrix, that is X, and this is the slack variables. Okay, so this you multiply, then it is our B matrix. Right side is B, The bracket is not required. We write simply B general. So what is X? So this is a vector of slack variables. Okay, slack variables. How the basis matrix looks like? Basis matrix is a square matrix of size order m by m. Okay, so order m. So the elements are like this: first column, second column, and so on. So, and what is B? This is actually the identity matrix. And since it is identity matrix, it is inverse also identity, right? Basis matrix is always identity. So in a initial simplex table, you will see the basis matrix. Okay, this basic variable. There are m number of basic variables. Okay, so basic variables we write xb, xb1, xb2, xbm. These are the basic variables. Okay, any iteration, all the non-basic variables are 0. Generally, we do like this: b into xb equal to b. When we set the non-basic variable 0, our a is becoming b. Initially, it is x equal to b after inclusion of slack surplus variable. Once we have set the non-basic variable 0, so it is b into xb equal to b. If it is solvable, then our xb equal to capital B inverse into small b. Okay, so where B inverse is the inverse of the basis matrix. B stands for a basis matrix. Inverse stands for inverse of the basis matrix. Okay, this. At any iteration, the given original B vector, the inverse matrix B, okay, we can calculate and we can find XB. What is XB? XB equal to capital B inverse into small b. Okay, this. Our objective function, we are writing C transpose into. If you consider it is a column vector, then you take transpose. If you say row vector, CB into XB, you can write. That depends on the notation you are using. Z is the objective function. Non-basic variables are 0. Once you non-basic variables 0, we are writing in this form: CB transpose into XB. CB stands for the coefficient in the objective function only for the basic variable. Okay, this. So once it is done, we will write the steps of the problem, revised simplex method. Okay, so very quickly we will go to a problem. Determine the entering variable. What we do in simplex? Simplex, we compute the indicator row value. If you find some elements are negative, if you find all are positive, then optimal already will conclude whether problem is infeasible or has an optimal solution. So if there is a negative element in the indicator row, what will do? So with respect to that jth column, we say xj is the entering variable. Okay, so which is associated with the vector pj. We compute y equal to CB transpose into B inverse. Initially, B inverse is nothing but an identity matrix. So we compute Zj minus Cj equal to y into Pj. Y is computed. So once y is known, Zj minus Cj equal to y into Pj minus Cj. That will compute for all the non-basic variable. Select the largest negative value, of course, for the maximization type problem. Among all the Zj minus Cj, break the ties arbitrarily. If all the Zj minus Cj are non-negative, optimal solution is reached. What is optimal solution? XB equal to B inverse into small b, Z equal to CB transpose into XB. Otherwise, go to step 2. If it is optimal, this is optimal solution, stop. Otherwise, go to step 2. What is step 2? Step 2 say, once entering variable is known, we have to find the leaving variable, departing variable. Determine the leaving variable. Leaving variable is XR, which is associated with the vector PR. Compute the current basic variable XB. What is XB? XB equal to capital B inverse into small b. Compute the constraint coefficient of the entering variable for Pj. What is that? that is equal to alpha j equal to B inverse into Pj, a particular column. B inverse is known. With respect to B inverse, we will compute multiply Pj. So we have alpha j. They are vector. The xp has m components. The alpha j also m components. Then what we'll do? We'll find the positive ratio. Okay, positive ratio in this manner. Leaving variable xr must be associated with theta, the minimum ratio, minimization over k, capital B inverse into B, the kth component, divided by its alpha j, its kth component, you divide, where whatever you are dividing, that element has to be positive, cannot be zero. Using the minimum ratio rule. Okay, if alpha k j either negative or zero for all k, then the problem is unbounded. Okay, if you find, so there is some elements which is negative or zero, then we'll compute that the problem is unbounded. Okay, right? Then we'll move to step 3. Determine the next basis. From the present basis, we find next basis. What is next basis? After computing the next basis, we will compute its inverse. Next basis and its inverse. For the given B inverse, compute B next inverse. Okay, this is computed using this formula. B next inverse equal to ER into B inverse. One step, where R is the column number of the entering variable. Set B inverse equal to B next inverse. Go to step 1 and proceed. That's all. Okay, these are the steps. So what I will do, so we'll take a small problem, since we need another 1 or 2 hours so to complete. So we will take a smaller problem. I will explain for everybody. So you should go through and see what exactly we are doing. Okay. Are you able to see the slide? Handwritten slide? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a problem. I have already told you, whenever we are solving the problem manually, we cannot consider several variables, several constants, because for the computation sake, since you are doing on pen and paper, so table size should be fixed, cannot be more. Okay, so depends on the facility what we have. Okay, so what is the problem? Maximize z equal to x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3. See, I will tell you, because when we are framing the question, we are writing like this. So I'm avoiding superscript and subscript. The reason is because I will set the question paper, somebody will cut and paste, and he will put it in that system. Okay, so there will be confusion. So to avoid the confusion, so I'm writing x1, capital X, in the right hand side 1, x1, right, plus 2x2, 2, once in the left side 2 is there, it is 2 is multiplied, 2x2, x, then side by 2, that is 2, 2x2 plus 3x3, 3x3. Okay, right? There is no confusion. Okay, so I will not write subscript, superscript, because somebody will compile and somebody will edit and finally will commit mistake. Okay, that's not be any mistake. Okay, so then see, in same manner, second is first constraint x1 plus 5x2 plus 6x3. The equal to sign, there is no problem. Equal to. If it is less than equal to, I will write less and equal to sign together. If it is greater than equal to, greater and equal to sign together. There is no confusion. So you can understand what we are writing. Okay. And generally all the variables x1, x2, x3 are non-negative. This is the problem. Say for this problem, if you are going to change into equations, right hand side 30 and 18, they are non-negative. You are going to change equation. So we have to include what? Slug variables. How many slug variables are needed? Please answer. How many slug variables are needed?
2.
2. And these 2 are the basic variable. Okay. These 2 are the basic variable. Okay. So Now I am just, for your understanding, I am just writing the objective function like this. Z equal to, maximize Z equal to x1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3 plus 0 times x4 plus 0 times x5. This is not required since its coefficient is 0. So if you are writing, there is no harm. And what is the first constant? So x1 plus 5x2 plus 6x3 plus x4 equal to 30. Second one, x1 plus 3x2 plus 2x3 plus x5 equal to 18. This x5, x4 are the basic variables. x1, x2, x3 are the non-basic variable. Non-basic variable, basic variable in the first table only. Okay. See, there are altogether 2 equations. How many variables? 5 variables. Okay. 2 equations, 5 variables. How many basic solution you can find out? Basic solution. Out of basis, you can have basic feasible solution. How many? That is 5C, 2. You have to set 2 of them non-basic variable, rest are basic variable. Out of 5, set 3, 0. So how many way? That is 5C3 is same as 5C2. That will be 5 into 4 by 2. How many? There are 10 such cases. We will explore all the cases. But in the simplex table, no need of exploring all the cases. So we are proceeding in the optimal manner. Maybe after 2 or 3, we may find solution or we may give a conclusion. Okay, this. Now I am making table. So before making table, so there is summary. So see, page up. Oh, sorry, where has it gone? Moved. Also page down. Here it was, right? So this is the table we have. So please look to the table. So in this revised simplex method, say we are forced to use extended table. Only one table will use, not more than one. So once the information, you will save it. Okay, information. Okay. So I am explaining. So earlier we were writing basic variable, non-basic variables. Now we are writing variables. What are the variables? X1, X2, X3, X4, X5. Variables. This variable consisting of basic variable, non-basic variable. And what are the basic variable? In the first table, basic variables are X4 and X5. And what is the coefficient of the basic variable? 0 and 1. Okay, this. And so for the variables, the coefficients are, for X1 it is 1, for X2 it is 2, for X3 equal to 3, X4 equal to 0, X5 equal to 0. And right hand side is not XB. Actually right hand side value is B. I am keeping B, not making XB. So B, what is the value? So B1 equal to 30, B2 equal to 18. The elements are in the last row of the simplex table. The elements are -1, -2, -3, 0, 0, 1. For the simplex, here we have to calculate. So everything will calculate using the matrix. Okay. Now, so here also I like to say, just a very crucial thing. So in this problem, we are computing 3 times the inverse. Okay. So first time is obvious. The B is 1001. What is the inverse? Inverse equal to 1001. Same. Now next. So if you observe the first and how I have changed, I will tell you later. Okay. So if you observe first and second, 1001 and it is 6021. So second column same. First column there is a difference. So which column we are changing? We are changing first column. If you change first column, so our inverse is nothing but our E1. Okay, I have told you. So you can compute and you will find this is your inverse. Okay. So how to compute? I have told you earlier step, same step you follow. Then if you compare B and BC, say what is the difference? Which column is difference? Second column. So whatever inverse, so that will be used and you find the new inverse. So first one is nothing but our B. Second one inverse is nothing but our E1, and third one nothing but that is E2 into E1. E2 into E1. Okay. So this information we have to utilize, and we have to utilize in the problem, and we have to compute also. How we will compute, I will tell you. Okay, this. So with respect to this table, what is your basis matrix? Can you see? The basis matrix is always an identity matrix. See below X4, 1 0, one column. Second column 0 1. If this 4 element 1 0 0 1, it is a identity matrix. Generally, initially, this basis matrix is nothing but an identity matrix. Initially, for the first simplex table, the basis matrix is nothing but an identity matrix. Okay. So the elements are 1 0 0 1. Right? So what is B inverse? B inverse same. What is CB? What is CB? CB means, so you are considering either row or column. So let me take the in a column, since it is column. So CB equal to that transpose. Okay. CB transpose. Okay. CB I can write also in 0 0 0 0. Okay. CB I am writing in this form. CB into B inverse. CB into B inverse. This B inverse, that is 0 0 0 comma 0. So this is our Y. Okay. This is our Y. And we have Z1 minus C1. What is that Z1 minus C1? Z1 minus C1 is like this. So Z1 minus C1 equal to Y into P1 minus 1. So then Z2, see here. Okay. This one, X1 is non-basic variables. X2 is non-basic variable. X3 is non-basic. For 3 non-basic variable, we will compute Z1 minus C1, Z2 minus C2, Z3 minus C3. For the basic variable, we don't compute. They are the basic variables. Okay. So if you compute, always they will come either 0 or positive. Okay. This. So this will be Y into P1. Y is 0 0. The P1 vector. Below X1 there is a column 1 1, that is P1. Below X2 there is a column 5 3, that is P2. Below X3 there is a column 6 2, that is our P3. Okay. So C1, that is Y into P1 minus C1, 0 0 multiplied with 1 1. 0 0 is a row vector, 1 1 is a column vector, multiply 0 0 to 1 1, then minus 1, that is minus 1. Similarly, 0 0 into 5 3, that is 0, multiply minus, subtract minus 2, that is minus 2. 0 to 6 2, 0 0 0, so into 6 2 minus 3, that is coming as minus 3. This completes. So 1 minus 2 minus 3. Which is most negative? Which is most negative? Hello? Are you there or left? Hello?
-3.
-3. Okay. This, so this with since it is most negative, this x3 is the entering variable. x3 is the entering variable and one of them is departing variable. Acha. Whenever we are finding departing variable, what we will do? We will find ratio. In summary, 30/6 is 5, 18/2, 9. Minimum ratio is coming with respect to what? 6. So minimum ratio is coming with respect to 6 because 30/6 equal to 5. So if x3 is entering variable, then which is departing variable? Which is departing variable? X4. X4 is departing variable. This X4 and X5. You see the first row X4, second row X5, and there with respect to X4, X5, you see first column, second column. So 6, 2 is entering. So entering with respect to X3 is the entering variable. X4 is the departing. Now this 6, 2 we have to replace in this basis matrix where? Below X4 or below X5? Can you tell me? Since the X4 is departing, so we will replace 1, 0 with 6, 2 and compute the inverse. Replace 1, 0 with 6, 2 and compute the inverse. If we are saying X5 is the departing variable, then replace 0, 1 with 6, 2 and compute the inverse. Okay, that is the conclusion. So we will repeat again. So tomorrow, right? Tomorrow I will take the class. Is it all right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So this simplex or whatever the method I have given, that I am sending slides, and the problem after discussion I will give you the slides, right? Okay.
Thank you. Please don't take class tomorrow, sir.
Already question paper has been printed. So date has been given because this gentleman is saying, so already slots are booked. Okay. So if you say, if you will not come, you don't come, no problem. But you don't ask me, sir, I lost some mark, I am not getting good grades. That complaint is don't give. Okay, right? For this, I have to do many things. I have to make table to solve problems, scan, and I have to give you. Okay. See, I can write on the chalk and this that also because that will not be fair. No, I will commit many mistakes. Because see, in a table there are say 30, 40 multiplication, addition, subtraction. So at least few mistakes will come, certainly. Okay, if I am writing quickly.
Sir, many of us have plans in 26 January.
Where they will go? Where they will go? Tell me. See, your friend is not there. You are alone in the house. Where you will go? Tell me. See, tomorrow.
Sir, we have friends in our hometown, sir.
What is there? What is there?
We have friends in our hometown.
Don't worry, you go. So if you feel to learn, all right. If you don't learn, also all right. Okay. Many students are not interested. Okay.
It's official holiday, sir. How can you take the class?
I missed some class. I told you. Okay. Isn't it?
Only half hour was missed, sir. So you can take half hour, but you are taking 2 hours class tomorrow, sir.
Okay, that is option. That is optional. We'll discuss problem. If you like to come, all right. You don't come, all right. Okay, no problem. Okay. See, my work not to discuss several problems. I will discuss only one problem. Okay. So why I should solve 4, 5 problems? Tell me. Eh? Okay, all right. Thank you. Don't worry. Don't worry. So after the first class test, you will certainly know your standard where you stand. Okay. All right. And these questions will not be so easy. Okay. Three methods, whatever I have given, that basic feasible solution method, simplex method, big M method, and the two-phase, whatever I have told, no? Two-phase. All these things are not very easy. Now we have the revised simplex method, dual simplex method, and what else I told? Integer programming. Okay. So worst case it may happen, maybe you will not be able to answer all, no problem. And we are giving the time is 1 hour, we are giving 30 minutes. You know why? Because people are copying. This is the rule that, see, if somebody is not able to get good mark, whatever mark will have relative grading. Suppose say out of 100 you got 10, no problem. Whoever they got 10, it will be highest, no problem, what to worry. And what I want to do, you have to write the objective type answer and your workout, you save it and I will give you some address, Gmail address, you post it there. That's all. Okay. And don't pass your answer to anybody. If you pass, then there is problem. Okay. So see, anyhow, we are taking the Viva also to finalize your grade after all the test, Viva. Okay. So what you are doing, so that time I will ask, how do you solve? You explain. Okay. Every question has 5-6 bits. Okay. So every individual thing you have to calculate. Okay. And one will calculate, all will enjoy, that is not permitted. And you cannot do it. I'm telling you. Okay. Thank you. So tomorrow we'll solve the problem. If you feel that, okay, I should attend, all right. If you feel, no, I should not attend, no problem. Okay. We have enough time, but the slot is not there for the exam. See,